IMF operative Ethan Hunt is given the task of retrieving one part of a key from his associate Ilsa Faust, who is being hunted down. He travels to the empty quarter in the Arabian desert, briefly reunites with Ilsa, and advises her to remain hidden. Back in the United States, Ethan infiltrates a meeting of the community, where representatives from different intelligence agencies convene. Among them are former IMF Director Eugene Kittredge and DNI Denlinger, who discuss a rogue AI called the Entity. Originally created to disrupt digital systems, the Entity has gained sentience and infiltrated major defense, military, and intelligence networks. Different nations are in a race to prevent its sabotage and gain control over it, as both halves of the key are required to access it. Convinced that the Entity is too dangerous to be controlled, Ethan decides to destroy it. Alongside his teammates Benji Dunn and Luther Stickle, he heads to Abu Dhabi International Airport to intercept the person holding the other half of the key. Ethan eludes both community agents and Gabriel, a contact with ties to his past, before losing the key to a skilled thief named Grace. Meanwhile, Luther discovers a piece of luggage containing a nuclear explosive sent by the Entity, which Benji narrowly defuses. Disturbed by the Entity's apparent foresight and the presence of Gabriel, Ethan goes after Grace alone. In Rome, Ethan tracks down Grace while being pursued by community agents and Gabriel. After a long chase, Grace manages to escape again, but Ethan reunites with his team and Ilsa. With Benji and Luther providing assistance, Ethan and Ilsa infiltrate a party hosted by arms dealer Alana Mitsopoulos in Venice, hoping to find the buyer for the complete key and learn its purpose. Grace delivers the half key to Alana, while Ethan fails to convince her to refrain from selling it. The team disperses, with Ethan sparing Gabriel's subordinate Paris after subduing him. Gabriel knocks out Grace and kills Ilsa before Ethan can intervene, devastating him. A remorseful Grace is convinced to join Ethan's team, and they prepare to board a train bound for Innsbruck, where Alana will meet the buyer. Luther departs to an off-grid location to investigate traces of the Entity on his hard drive. On the train, Gabriel murders the conductor and sabotages the brakes. He encounters Denlinger, who suggests an alliance between himself and the Entity. Denlinger reveals that the complete key unlocks the chamber housing the computer of the Sevastopol, a Russian submarine that was sunk by its own torpedo. An earlier version of the Entity was injected into the system to sabotage the submarine's stealth capabilities, but instead, it deceived the Sevastopol into destroying itself. This early version of the Entity is still on the submarine, and whoever can access it can either control or eliminate the Entity. Gabriel kills Denlinger and attempts to kill Paris to ensure he remains the sole person aware of the key's purpose. Assuming Alana's identity, Grace hands over the complete key to the buyer, who is revealed to be Kittredge. Despite being tempted to betray Ethan for a reward and protection, she chooses to stand with him, retrieves the key through pickpocketing, and escapes. In a daring maneuver, Ethan parachutes onto the moving train to save Grace, but Gabriel obtains the key. Ethan manages to overpower Gabriel without killing him, but Gabriel escapes and sets a countdown to detonate the bridge up ahead. Grace and Ethan detach the locomotive to save the passengers, but they are unable to escape themselves. Just as they are about to plunge into the broken bridge, Paris, who is on the brink of death, rescues them. Paris informs Ethan about the Sevastopol before losing consciousness. Ethan flees the train, and Grace informs Kittredge that she has decided to join the IMF. Ethan meets up with Benji, and as Gabriel realizes that his pocket is empty, they drive away with the key that Ethan had pickpocketed during their confrontation. This film is an absolute masterpiece, with non-stop action that keeps you engaged from beginning to end. Tom Cruise deserves an Oscar for his dedication to performing these incredible stunts that are truly out of this world. There seems to be nothing he can't do. And let's not forget that he's 61 years old. The train stunt, in particular, is exceptionally well done, especially when you watch the behind-the-scenes footage and realize they were actually on a moving train. Tom Cruise is incredibly underrated, and these movies don't get the recognition they deserve. I can't wait to see how they top the action in the next installment, considering what they've already accomplished with the bike, train, and one-handed car driving. That's all I can say until the next one. As a Mission Impossible fan, I started watching the first movies at the beginning of the year. And let me tell you, I could try really hard to come up with criticisms of the script, but the stakes and action sequences were just too intense. I can confidently say that this is the best film in the franchise and possibly one of my favorite spy action movies now. It's definitely one of my favorite movies of the year. Rebecca Ferguson as Ilsa Faust absolutely killed it, and Vanessa Kirby is always a delight. This is my favorite role I've seen Tom Cruise in, but I have to admit that Ms. Haley Atwell was the surprise standout for me. I didn't know what to expect from her, and she became my favorite part of the film. I'm most excited to see her in the next part. I was thrilled and entertained throughout the nearly 3-hour runtime. There are some sequences in this film that are simply the best in the business. I can't wait to watch it again. Mission Impossible 7 has exceeded all my expectations, and it deserves immense praise for its constant moments of awesomeness. This achievement is undoubtedly due to the legendary Tom Cruise himself, whom I have admired since Mission Impossible Fallout. The action sequences are incredibly satisfying, the special effects are electrifying, and the score is exceptional. The stunts are executed with astonishing precision, and the characters are well developed. The dialogue is exceptionally well written, and the sound design is truly impressive. The excitement and enthusiasm for this film continue to grow. Overall, I adore this film and would rate it 4.7 out of 5.